Oh, hi. Strap yourself in, because I think this is going to be a long one. Hi, everybody. Cheers. See how much I can chug. It's cold. So, hi. It's Thursday. Fell asleep for a little bit. I'm awake now. I was watching The Last Hunter from 1980 to review for the next issue. And like I said, my last review, just last night, I think. Yeah, it was. I think it was yesterday. I'm getting a jump on Halloween, and I didn't plan it, but I finished reading The Crow, and I mean, The Crow's perfect for Halloween. So I'm going to talk about The Crow Special Edition graphic novel by James O'Barr. And I've had this for a while, and I even had like I think I had like the kitchen, is this a kitchen sink? I had like a kitchen sink comics one, and I never read it. I would start it, and I love the art, and I don't know, I think I was always afraid that it was gonna suck, and I just never finished it. And I looked through this, and like I said, the art is awesome. It's in black and white, and yeah, and then last weekend I was out, I'm gonna read it for, whatever, and it doesn't suck. It's really good, actually. And I can't even imagine, like, it came out in 1989 on Caliber Press Comics. I was neck deep in comics. I do not remember this coming out. Probably, though, if I would have seen it, I would have ignored it. Because in '89, I was just Marvel fanboy all the way. A little DC. I did buy like a couple of Turtles reprints. I mean, everyone was buying Turtles, but maybe if I would have seen this, I don't know. But I doubt it. So, yeah, my first time I heard of The Crow was a movie. And I went to see it, and I think I was even back, like, immediately I was like, this is gonna suck. Like, this is a comic book I've never heard of. I was like, where's, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Moon Knight, where are those comic book movies at? But then, on repeated viewings, The Crow has become one of my, I would say, maybe top 50 movies. And then, I was like, well, I gotta read the comic. I even like City of Angels. And there's some cool art in the back. And I remember when I got this, I was like, I hadn't read it, so I was like, is there like a female crow? Because I was like, that looks like a girl. Like, it's not. It's Eric. So yeah, Joe Barr, he's a great artist. I mean, after reading this, I know he did other stuff, but I was like, what else did he do? And looking right now, I was like, I could see maybe he could have gone to DC. I can't see his style in Marvel at all. So this is based on like, he said that he had gotten his license taken away, or I think for drunk. I'm not sure. Something happened. He got his license taken away, and he couldn't drive, and I think he had been drinking, and he called his girlfriend to pick him up, and she got run over by a drunk driver. Like, I even think like the guy went on the sidewalk and ran her down, and he just blamed himself for it, which is, so man, that's pretty rough. Like, and so he did the Crow to help him like work through it, and yeah, it's pretty hardcore stuff. Whoa, God. What I noticed is that it's way different from the movie. I don't know if I should spoil it, but in the order when he kills people, when it happens in the story, is just the only part that's kind of the same is the pawn shop part. That's almost just like the movie. The bad guys, Tintin, T-Bird. There's no Skank. I don't think there's Skank. There's a bunch of them. And they don't break into the apartment and kill them. It's like almost like just like a highway robbery sort of thing. And then in the movie, they always talk about how Michael Berryman had a part as like a cowboy. Like a zombie-ish, ghostly cowboy that talks to the Crow, Eric Draven. He's in here for like in 2 pages and only like 1 panel each page. It looks cool though. But like I was, oh man, I wish I would have seen that part. But I was like, it's such a tiny part in the comic. It is really violent. For 1989, like, it's in black and white, but like when he shoots someone in the head, it just blows it's like gun blast and blood, and you don't see like brains or skull fragments, but yeah, just like a blast of fire and blood, and it looks cool. It's pretty action packed, and then there's a lot of like real sad, depressing stuff, which is understandable for why he wrote it. His art changes, and it's all really good. Like he does, I guess, like, I don't know what you would call it. Oh, there's the cowboy. I'll try to find an example of what I'm talking about. I can't explain it. Stuff like this. And I took it like as and this is like what it mostly looks like. Like this is just real grim and gritty and down and dirty. And then all of his memories of like Shelley are like nice and kind of dreamlike. And Shelley was blonde. There's a horse. The little girl, can't remember her name. She has a very small role in this. But it took me a couple of days. It was a pretty hefty read. There's a lot of text. And there are some parts where like this is like something you would see like in Deadpool or Wolverine, where he's chopping limbs off with the sword. That was really cool. All the weapons he has, just his whole look, and I was like, man, I guess he just didn't want to do maybe an ongoing. How can you do an ongoing series about the Crow? I guess he could do. I think he did. I guess he did other Crow stories with different characters. But yeah, Eric Draven is just like the #1 Crow. He's the best. Maybe this isn't going to be a long one. But if you haven't read it, what's this? and you have any interest in, I would say get it. I'm glad I got it. I'll read it again, I think. Definitely flip through it. They're just like little panels that are, I was like, man, that could be like a cool show flyer or an ad or like a movie poster. And then he just looks like, he's just one of those characters, like when you see him, you're like, who is that? I want to know more about him. And even while I was reading it, like sometimes I looked, he would draw him like in a superhero pose, and I was like, I guess he's like a vigilante. He's not a superhero. Like, well, I mean, by definition, I think he would help someone, but this is so far away from like Captain America or even Batman and Superman. This is like the flip side of what comics, I mean, even the comics I like. It's weird. I like underground music and metal and like really obscure movies, but when it comes to comics, I'm pretty mainstream. But they're good. Like Daredevil, Spidey, Captain America, they've all had great stories that are just as good as The Crow, and The Crow is just as good as them. Well, see, final words. I just wish I could read what other comics Jail Bar did, and I wish he was still creating. Maybe he is, and I just don't know about it. Oh, another thing, he has like a cat powers. The cats follow him around. That's not delved too deeply in the movie. And one thing in the movie does that he doesn't do in here, that is one of my favorite parts of the movie, that when he's running through the rooftops, I was like, that's like superhero stuff. That's Spider-Man, Daredevil, Batman, Moon Knight, Night Thrasher. And there's none of that in here. It's weird how they captured that comic book feel in the movie from a comic book that doesn't follow like the tropes of regular comic books. Oh yeah, and there's some drawings in here of Eric Draven, and I was like, man, Brandon Lee was the perfect choice for I mean, he kind of looks like Brandon Lee before, like when the movie, like I'm sure he never thought this would be made into a movie. And I was like, man. And then that must have been horrible when Brandon died for this. So, The Crow, I'll give it a 5 out of 5 just for everything. For its original, how good it is, the art, how violent it is. And it's perfect for Halloween, which is coming up. So I guess I'll talk. I thought I was going to babble on a lot longer, so I'm going to talk about, I read The Predator versus Wolverine, and it's good. I did not like the way this artist drew the Predator. Let's see that. And then this bugged me, about the Alien versus Predator movie. They even say in the comic how the Predator is drawn to like humid, hot places. And he's in the snow. And I was Predator is almost like an amphibian reptile. Give him winter gear. Give him some fur on him. Like, have a fur coat or something. A little bit of fur. But it was a decent story. See, it just looks too, well, okay. I think it's a young Predator. But it just doesn't look bulky enough. But the art changes. There's like 3 different artists, I think. It starts in present day. Yeah. Wolverine looks really cool there. Then it goes back to like 1900, and then it goes like into the middle of that towards the end, and it's Wolverine when he's on Team X, and he's with Sabretooth, someone called Jackson, someone called Cruel, and Maverick. And I like the art much better in this one, and you just see a little bit of the Predator, but I think they're drawn much better. But yeah, this was I didn't even look at the price. This was $7.99, but it has like three stories, and I thought they went well together. The art, that's a good drawing. I just didn't like how I drew the body and how they just, he's in the snow. And he doesn't cover up, but neither does Wolverine. But they're just different. But I want to see Team X go up against the Predator. Oh, and they even use, and I hate how Wolverine, how his memory has been wiped so many times. Like, to me, that I remember there was a series, Wolverine Origins, and that's all it was like, I was like, well, then what's real? That I just wish that, I remember when I first started reading comics, Wolverine had no origin. And I remember, I think it's the 4-issue limited series by Frank Miller and Chris Claremont, where Wolverine's talking about Mariko, and she's like, she can trace her family like 1,000 years. He's like, I know my father's name, and I was like, that's all I need to know. No more about Wolverine, And I wish they could have left it like that. But they use the mind wipes, I think, to their advantage, because he doesn't remember fighting the Predator like these, like in the 1900s. So when Team X goes up against it, he's like, he doesn't remember. So, well, that's cool. At least it's something. So I'll give this first issue 3.5 Hands of Fate. I was surprised how good it was. Not even that it was good. It was just decent. Almost good. There's so many boring comics now. This is at least competent. And when I was reading it, I was like, man, this is weird. It's Predator versus Wolverine. Man, we're gonna get a movie. But I'm looking forward to the next issue. Hopefully, I hope I don't keep getting these covers. So the Crow, Wolverine, well, they need to fight too, I guess, someday. I would like to see the Crow fight Blade. So I'm gonna try to think of some characters I want to like, Marvel characters I want to see fight the Predator. So I'll try to make a list, and I'll see you tomorrow.